So, Helen, lovely to see you on such a sunny day at Bicton here today. We've obviously been and had a look at the course and just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about it, really. Which fence or combination would you say you're most excited to see people ride through?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm really excited to see how I've got a new combination into the main arena. It'll be fence 15 ABCD on the 4-star. It's something I've wanted to do for many years. I've sort of looked up at the bank and thought, gosh, the arena's such a natural amphitheatre, and it would be a fantastic spot to have a proper coffin question. We had to do quite a bit of groundwork to sort of facilitate that, but actually, believe it or not, there was a dry period in the winter, would you believe, when we did the groundwork and were able to put the ditch in. So I've got a hanging log down quite a steep incline to a proper sort of coffin to the ditch, and then it's astride to a narrow MIM triple bar. I think that will be a really interesting one to watch. The other one I'm really looking forward to is the water on all the tracks, but on the 4-star we've got a hanging log coming in, but then we've got two really interesting, hugely long pieces of timber. I've got two offset rails coming out with a tree in the middle, so they either have to take on the angle on one stride and go the left-hand route, or they can go long. They'll be numbered separately, so it'll be fence 8 and fence 9, and they can jump the right hand side and ride a circle and pop the second log, but I think we'll see all sorts there, and I think that'll be, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that rides as well.
Yeah, brilliant. And what would you say has been your biggest challenge with designing and building this course?
Sure. So one of the best things about Bicton is the topography and the terrain, and it's also one of the biggest challenges as well. And for me, mitigating the effect of the hills and trying to mitigate the camber is probably the biggest challenge I've faced here. Certainly after the 4-star, we ran the Brahman replacement in June 2021. It was a strong track, and I think it also came off the back of COVID. So combinations hadn't run. When they came to that, it was like, whoa, this is very in your face. It's very decent. I think it was cranked up because it was Olympic year, because a lot used it as a pre-Tokyo selection. And, I learned a lot from it, is the honest truth. I learned a lot. I was surprised how much the horses tired in that furlong. So I think that's something I've taken forward, and in terms of trying to mitigate the effect of the hills, where I've gone with the track, I think achieves that. So that's probably been my biggest challenge.
Okay, fantastic. And obviously you've come up with some pretty innovative ideas with the fences here, using timber from Bicton Parkland. How do you keep coming up with new ideas for new courses each time?
You'd be amazed. I wake up in the night and think, yeah. It's a combination, is the honest truth. So, it's watching other tracks, it's watching, other events, talking to different designers. There's so many lessons to be learnt, and you can bet your bottom dollar if you're thinking of something, somebody will have tried it, and they will be able to give you some feedback on what not to and what to do. So I think that's really valuable to have those discussions, and certainly that's where having Mark as a course advisor is really beneficial. I guess I find myself slightly daydreaming about about fences and how we could ask a different question and what we could put where, and then I kind of go and mock it up and see if I think it's going to work, and then I go to the guys and say, right, I need you to build this, and they look at me and say, you have literally lost, I'm like, no, don't be silly, you have to see my vision, you have to go with me on this. And they do, to be fair, they do. It's watching, it's scrutinising, and it's also kind of gut as well. It's a kind of combination of all of it.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, and would you be able to sum up the Bicton courses in 3 words?
Oh, crikey. Oh, God. I would say big, bold and Bicton, because everyone that comes to Bicton knows. The 3 Bs.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And finally, Helen, how would you like to see this course being ridden, all of the tracks?
Sure. I would like to see riders riding with their head and riding what they feel underneath them. I think they will be in for a treat because the ground is absolutely stunning. It is dry as a bone. We're on sand, it drains very, very freely. It hasn't got wet here. And I think it will be one, for a lot of them, it'll be their first run where they're on top of the ground, not in the ground. And I think that will, benefit them hugely. But I just want to see them ride with their head, and actually to be able to set off and have enough in the tank to come up the last pull. It is a bit of a pull up to the last fence. But like I say, I've done my best to mitigate the hills, but I just want to see them ride what's underneath them with some feel and keeping that balance. And it's the cumulative effect. So if they keep the balance and they keep the horses travelling easily, it doesn't tire them. So I just want them to, use their brains.
Brilliant.